Balik Grana Weeb Nini Bung. I'm Engineer Hoist, and welcome to our weekly Transformers Earth Wars news stream. Say hi to those of you who are in the chat. We've got, let's see, Captain 7, Chris Taylor, William Edward Hackman, Denali Kid, Fitz19, Silverbolt 94, Lancelot Robinson, Rescue, PB Chew, Super VH, Autobot Phil, Blurimus Prime, SG Soundwave, Esoteric, LB Green, Logan Corin, and Oktar is in here, and more people showed up. Grand Galvatron's here, Nemesis Prime. Welcome to everybody. A lot of familiar names and a few new ones. So welcome. We do stream Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. So if you're watching the replay, that's where to go to get in the chat over here with everybody else. We're going to talk about the news today. I do have a few crystals to crack from last weekend's event, and got a couple new toys in we'll talk about after we get done with the Transformers Earth Wars news. But how about we go ahead and talk about the news. This weekend's event is called Rat Race. I think you guys could probably figure out why we got that name based on last week's reveal of who the new combat bots are going to be. So this weekend, it's a Prime Core event, but it's one of the Alliance ones. You can win up to 3,000 Prime Core shards, 60,000 of all three types of Spark, 1,050 4-star shards, 3,500 3-star shards, 14,000 premium shards, 6 gold power core chips, and a G-Metal core power chip. And I think there's even some Energon and Alloy thrown in there. As I said before, it's an Alliance event. It's one big prize list. Starts at the usual Friday start time, ends at the usual Monday stop time, and triple XP throughout the event. Got to be headquarters level 4 and be an Alliance. Hit the yellow event button, pick your zone, pick your battle, win the points, collect your prizes. The event battle zones are the standard battle zones. And here's a summary of all of the prizes. You do get a little bit all throughout, and unfortunately the big portion of these is up at these higher levels there. So for example, the Prime Core shards, you get 500 early on, then you get another 1,000, and then you have to get to 295 to get half, 1,500, which is half of the 3,000. So to get the majority of these prizes, you do have to almost get all the way up to the 310,000, and a lot of alliances aren't going to have a problem with it, but there's going to be some that don't. But that's fine. You can't get all the prizes every time. And if you do happen to go beyond 310,000, there's some total spark crystals there for you. I didn't create a slide, didn't include the slide for that. I think you guys know what's in those by now. The new combat bots are Rattrap for the Autobots / Maximals. Wily, resourceful, and a master at detecting and eluding hidden traps. Rattrap may lack the social graces and stoical forbearance of some Maximals, but there's no denying his loyalty and courage. His biting wit and sarcasm tend to alienate him from his comrades in arms. And, okay, so next up is the counterpart Vertebreak. Though barely more than bones and sinew, Vertebreak makes up for her lack of flesh with an abundance of speed, stealth, ferocity, and venom. Once her jaws clamp down on a victim's limb, they're very hard to pry off, and in the end, what gives is usually the limb itself. Okay, so we found that out last week. This week we find out the abilities. Rattrap and Vertebreak beam a hack and EMP immunity shield to the equipped bot, which explodes every 3 seconds and deals a percentage of the bot's DPS as damage to nearby foes. Now that's actually pretty cool. So not only are they immune to hacks and stuns, but even if you're not in danger of being hacked or stunned, you do still have a burst of damage similar to the Rodimus Prime and Motormaster ability, but it's every 3 seconds and it's just for that one bot. So it's actually pretty cool. I do actually have them on my test account. We'll see them in action in a moment. And basically, who do you put them on? Warriors. Definitely put these guys on Warriors because that burst, you want them near defenses, and the Warriors with the melee style. It doesn't have to be a Warrior, but it's got to be a melee style bot because they're the ones who walk right up to the defenses. Healers, gunners, airbots, they tend to stay away, so that burst of damage is probably not going to do a whole lot. So definitely want to put it on a melee style bot. Let's see. Primal would be a good one. we'll see who I tried them on here in a moment. So also in the newsletter, they revealed some new power cores that are going to be coming. Transmetal power cores. Tune in to Simon Furman's campaign story next week to discover how they will be introduced into the game. Similar to G1 power cores, they'll drop from specific Beast Wars characters' duplicates, and they will enhance the bot abilities and give them a new look with a twist. We don't know what the abilities are yet, but so there's, and it actually has a different look depending on whether you have silver or gold or G metal. So it gives them a different skin, and we've got a look here. So here is what Optimus Primal will look like if you give him a gold or G metal. So they don't really change the style of the bot. Like the Transmetals are completely different designs, really. It truly is just a new skin, but it's more than just the G1. They didn't just change the colors and give them an outline a little bit. So it is definitely different than a different style of skin from the G1. But it still is really just changing the colors of the character. Still looks pretty cool though. And here is a comparison. I'm guessing the super shiny one there on the left is the silver power core. Kind of reminds me of Metal Mario from the Super Mario games, if you've ever played that, which I imagine a lot of you probably have. But yeah, so that's like Metal Monkey Prime and Transmetal Monkey Prime there for you. Silverback Optimus, yeah, there you go. And here is Megatron with the gold or G metal. And another look there, you can see he's also kind of got the Metal Mario look there with the silver version of it and the more traditional Transmetal colors. I'm not entirely sure if that's really what the Transmetal, I seem to remember some brown in there with him on the Transmetal, but it's been a while since I looked at it, so there you go. Those are what the Transmetal cores are going to make them look like. And as far as the abilities, we haven't been revealed that just yet. And that basically does it for the news. As I said before, we do stream right here on YouTube at youtube.com/engineerhoist. If you're watching this live or a replay, you're already here. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. Unless maybe you're watching in the embed somewhere. But that's the link. And you can also follow me at Engineer Hoist on Instagram or Twitter for infrequent behind-the-scenes content. Alright, so I promised you some preview. As usual, this is the... I've got the test server header up across the top. I do not have these bots yet. This is just for demonstration purposes. So let's go into the lab, and there is Rattrap there. It's a little small, but Rattrap, the 5-star at level 1, has 7,786 health and 206 DPS. As said before, it beams a hack and EMP immunity shield and deals 120% of the bot's DPS. See, the 4-star, slightly lower health and DPS, deals 100% of the bot's DPS. The 3-star, same thing, goes down, deals 81% of the bot's DPS, and the 2-star Rattrap will deal 72% of the bot's DPS. The percentage doesn't change when you increase the level, but the bot stats do. So Rattrap himself will increase his health and damage, but the percentage of damage that the bot will do on those bursts will remain the same, and it increases with star level. So, there you go. If it's saying Waza showed it in his stream. Yeah, I figured he would. He usually does. Doesn't mean I can't. I've fought to be able to get these guys ahead of time. Roll out. So, here we go. So I've actually got a whole Beast Wars lineup on here because that's apparently what we're doing in Transformers right now. It's all Beast all the time. We've got Beast Wars stuff going on in Earth Wars. We've got War for Cybertron Kingdom is the current toy line, and the show's coming on Netflix soon. Plus, they just announced the movie Rise of the Beasts is going to be all about. Well, maybe not all about, but it's going to include Beast Wars. So we're all it's Beast Wars all the time right now in Transformers community. But so anyway, I've got Rattrap on Rhinox and Dinobot. Dinobot's, even though that would be perfect, having Rattrap tagging along on Dinobot, it's probably not best because Dinobot's one of those ones that tends to hang back. But Rhinox is actually pretty darn good for him because he does get like right up close and personal with the defenses. So there we go, and we'll drop Rhinox and drop all these guys over here. So you can see, so there's Rattrap went ahead and spawned, and you can see them beaming, and you can kind of see the bursts there. When they're all clustered together. I'm just going to try to get the rest of these guys out of the way a little bit. So if you watch Dinobot here, he should pulse here. No, it looks like Rattrap disengaged. Rattrap's actually on Optimus Primal. Now he's going over here, running back to Dinobot. You can see Rhinox here. He's got there's a burst there, so you can see how they're kind of doing it. And he's trying to follow. Doesn't quite follow the Rush guys that well. He's like, hang on, Rhinox, I'm coming! I'm coming, Rhinox! Oh, you're so fast. Keep up, you little vermin. Didn't even see where he was. There they are. Still engaged on Dinobot and Rhinox. They did pretty good keeping up with them. So there's basically Rattrap and how he can help you with the help you as a combat bot. Definitely want them on warrior class or melee attack style bots. There's a lot of special class bots that are melee style, so definitely want to put them on those guys. So if you don't have like one of the other ones on there, I think they're a really good option for that. So as we usually do, after we show them off, we take a look at the toys. So there is Kingdom Rattrap, the core class version of him. There you go. And Vertebreak, the core class Kingdom bot. Just a little skeleton dinosaur. So pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about these combat bots. I definitely want to. You know, I think they're good to bots to chase. If you're going to chase any of them, I think these are good ones to add to your list of bots to chase. So. Vertebreak looks different from RID. Well, yeah. I mean, this is, you know, bots can change style, and you know, even they reuse names all the time. For example, talking about the new movie coming out, Rise of the Beasts, one of the characters that they mentioned is going to be in there was Scourge. But looking more into the description of what he's going to look like, they said it's going to be kind of like, you know, my first thought was just like everybody else, you know, the little space boat flying around like from G1 and the original Transformers movie and what we have in the game. But they described him more as kind of like a truck with like smokestacks and things like that, and that makes me more think of the RID Scourge, who basically kind of looked like shoulder pads Optimus Prime. but in kind of Nemesis Prime colors, but they called him Scourge. So I think that's more where they're getting that inspiration from. So it's a similar thing like that, and there's been plenty of times where names are reused. I mean, like Prowl, for example. We got Prowl is best known as a police car, but he's also a lion in Beast Wars. Silverbolt is normally known as the aerial bot, but he's also an eagle there in Beast Wars. And Iron Knight, even though we haven't seen him in the game yet, is an elephant in Beast Wars, whereas he's like the gruff old veteran van from G1. So they reuse the names. Sometimes they're for the same character, just taking on a different look, and sometimes it's a completely new character. Yeah, that's where they have different continuities, and you gotta, you know, just watching the few Armada, they just completely reuse those names for completely different characters than what we were used to in G1. So anyway, that was a little sidebar there. But how about we go and let me change my over to my main account so we can go crack some crystals here. Who's the best Megatron? Well, whoever's in the room, first of all. If you're in a room with any of the Megatrons, that Megatron is the best one because they're not going to accept any other answer. But I grew up with G1. I tend to prefer that Megatron. Honestly, I love the Megatron from Transformers Prime. That was probably the best Megatron. That's the one I enjoyed most. Also from the comics, the IDW comics, I really enjoyed that Megatron. And yes, Beast Wars Megatron was awesome. Yes. So. And I can turn that off. Don't have a lot of crystals, but I do have a 4-star crystal on both accounts. So we'll go over to the Decepticon account in a moment and go check that out. Got a couple of gold chips here. Got a self-repair. I think that's food. You're right, there are 2 Silverbolts in the Beast area. You also have the what is he? Kind of like half wolf, half eagle or something? The guy who fell in love with Black Arachnia? Yeah, so you have that one, plus you have this little eagle guy. True. Alright, premium crystals. See if we get lucky with any of these. Got a Optimus Prime. Earned my ranks at the pits of Chaos. Yep.
Now, reap the whirlwind.
Yeah, it's Transformers Prime definitely is up there as probably my favorite series. It's going to be It's going to be real hard to beat that and to do better than that. I really hope they do because I mean, as much as I love that, I'd love something better too. That was a pretty nice little run. I had them all, but pulled a 3-star Grimlock out of there and Brainstorm and Trax. That's actually not a very bad pull from them. Nothing real impressive from the on the Power Core side though. 3-star. This is going to be a duplicate. I like Brainstorm Lance a lot. He's like a little bit better version of Air Raid. And 4-star crystal is going to be a duplicate, as expected. So Dupe City on the Autobot account. Duplicate slug gets us a little bit closer to another 5-star crystal. Nice bit of combiner spark there. I could probably find a use for a Vitality Core if I really went and looked. And character shards as usual. Cool. Alright, let me just change the sound. Somehow. Some way. There we go. Now we are on the Decepticon account here in PPX Vehemence. And we got some crystals here too. And I think I left the free crystals on here, so 2,000 spark, like it. And 1,000 spark, like it. Except I think I'm maxed on spark here. I need to start leveling up some abilities, so those probably went to the waste there. But gold power cores. I am short on power cores on this account. Oh, and we get a G-Metal, but it's a Death Pulse. Not a real fan of the Death Pulse. And 2 G-Metals back to back, and they're 2 completely useless G-Metals. Death Pulse and Tactician. Ugh. Ugh. Can you ever, if anybody has ever wondered if you can have good luck and bad luck at the exact same time, this is proof. Good luck to get 2 G-Metals back to back from gold chips, but the 2 worst cores. What a shame. Alright, so I got 8 premiums, a 3-star, and 2 4-star crystals, because we got 1 from the event, plus I had enough shards for another one just from collecting shards. So we got 2 4-star crystal pulls here on this account, once we get through all the rest of this stuff. Pull Straxus. And since we only had 8 of these, we got to go through them one by one. You know, oh, so tedious. Get spoiled with that ×10 button over there. Tactician course tastes like chicken, says PBQ. There's Soundwave Hiss. Counter Punch. Tactician is useful only in very rare circumstances. Those few bases that you still run across where people put all of their defenses way in the back and just load up all of their resource buildings up front, where you have to waste all of the ability points by having to destroy all of them first before you can advance. If somebody, like say an Optimus Prime or an Optimus Primal had a Tactician and you were attacking that base, they would go towards the base, and then you can use their battle orders to direct them, or Megatron or Beast Wars Megatron, and you can use those battle orders to direct everybody up there away from wasting their time and their abilities. But weeks and dozens or hundreds of battles go by between when I see those, so it's just not worth putting Tactician on a bot just for that very rare use case. So got 5 G-Metal wall busters. Oh, I wouldn't mind having at least 1 of those. In fact, I think I do actually on this count have a G-Metal wall buster, because Sludge or Straxus, I like putting wall buster on those guys, because I mean their ability is all about busting walls. Might as well give them a little extra wall busting help. But beyond them, maybe Nose Cone and Drill Horn. But would Chromia be good for a Death Pulse? Maybe. But yeah, good point, PB2. Only works on warriors, so you wouldn't even be able to put it on there. Didn't even think about that, but yeah, good point. But would it? Maybe. I've seen people use Death Pulse on some warriors that they have in their outposts, and I think that's a good use, but it would work best if you have that bot in its outpost and that's all they do, because otherwise when they're out battling, the Death Pulse probably doesn't give you a whole lot, and it would be better to add some other core. So 2 4-star crystals. Let's see if we're going to continue this Dupe City tonight, or maybe we get lucky with one of them or both of them. Dupe City continues so far with the first one, with the duplicate Blitzwing and a useless Omni Flamer. I'll have to think. I'm pretty sure I'm already set on headquarters. I can't equip a headquarter core right now because I'm not at that level, but I'm pretty sure I'm already set with one there for. And last one. Looks like we're getting a new 4-star bot. Save the best for last, and it is Dinobot 2. Cool. I do like my Dinobot. Not the best bot in the game, but pretty useful. He's a nice bot to have. Not the best in the world, but definitely a good one to have. Very cool. And I'm pretty sure I had a version of him already, so we've got no story. Alrighty. So there you go. Dupe City plus Dinobot 2. Sticking with the Beast Wars theme. It's just the that's perfect that we got Dinobot 2 sticking with the Beast Wars. And again, continuing with the Beast Wars theme, got 2 bots in today. They were Amazon said they were due in on September, but they came early. It's always nice when packages come early. First one is Beast Wars Scorponok. There you go. It's got a nice little Scorponok mode. Looks pretty decent in robot mode too. Transformation's kind of not fun, and even when he's done, I mean, you can kind of see his head's basically just kind of tucked in there, and his chest is just split open. So it's not the best transformation in the world by any stretch of the imagination. But he does look pretty good here in Scorpion mode, and I could probably transform him. Kingdom Scorponok, yes. This was the Kingdom Scorponok. It is kind of unique. I do kind of like how they do the feet a little bit, because so many bots are just 100% completely symmetrical, but in this case the feet are different because they one goes one way and one goes the other, so they have to do different things. Just trying to manage all of his little arachnid legs. Try to get them folded around on his back. They do fold, the legs do fold up pretty tidy. So there he is in robot mode. It does come with a little accessories. I don't remember from the show, it's been a while, but he's got kind of like a fly in there that you can, I suppose he shoots. So I'm sure there's some kind of reference, one of you guys out there probably remembers. And he's also got some missiles there in his other claw. I did find if you open the claws a little bit too far, they will completely pop off, and they're a little difficult to get back on, but it's not terrible. But yeah, so there is your Kingdom / Beast Wars Scorponok. I didn't quite get his legs fully transformed back in there, nor did I get the chest closed once I got the legs back up there. Oh, come on. You're gonna be a pain, aren't you? don't know why it's not closing now. There we go. I got it figured out. It needed a snap. So there we go again. Beast Wars Scorponok, Kingdom Scorponok, however you want to refer to him. Does he have waist rotation? Yes, indeed. Yeah, he's pretty decent articulation. Head's a little tight in one direction, but you know, you can still get a little head turn. Does he have knee articulation? Oh yeah, the knee, the one leg folds completely back on itself for part of transformation. As a result, he does kind of have hollow in the back of the legs, but he does, you know, he's got a thigh rotation there. You know, legs do all that, and you know, pretty good articulation. You guys are just wanting a whole review with this. I could tell. You know, upper bicep rotation. You know, got the elbow. Pretty much all of the articulation that you might want out of the guy. And despite his big backpack with his tail and all that, he's actually pretty stable. Standing on the table or wherever. That's because he does have big heel spurs. So, yeah, pretty good. If you're a fan of the character, or you're just like a completionist, or whatever, decent little bot. Ninja Master Builder, could you try to redo the best and worst spots in the outpost? It has been quite a bit, so. And it's on my list of things to do, I just can't seem to get to it. Alright, so the other bot that came in, I kind of like this guy, but he's kind of wing finger. He's the third fossilizer, and actually the first maximal fossilizer. The other two guys, Paleotrex and Ractonite, were Predacons. This guy is a maximal, but he is a... Would this be a Pteranodon or a Pterodactyl? I'm not sure. I can't remember. Some of you dinosaur guys out there will probably know which one this would be. But the weird thing is they show him as if he's flying, but he's got nothing to fly with, because, I mean, the wings usually have all the skin there that they could fly and glide with, but I mean, he's got none of that. He's just bones. Here, I'm going to go fly, and then he just falls to the ground. So, instead, he's just a big, long, spindly little skeleton. And I don't think they showed in the instructions, but the feet, which are also his robot hands, you can actually kind of fold them up and get him in some kind, so that he can actually stand. The head comes down a little bit like that to the point where he falls. Just kidding, I just dropped him. So yeah, so there you go. He can actually stand. But when his head's down like this, you really can't open his mouth much. So, and it doesn't really look any more graceful than before. So, and to transform him, you basically just take him apart. Like, you take the head off, and you can take these things end up being like the tips of his wings end up being like his swords. Separate this back part from there, and this here ends up becoming his feet. Trying to see. So you just kind of rotate it around like that. So that's the fronts of his feet, And then this part here, that was his legs in beast mode. You kind of just split them apart and rotate them around. And there's his arms. The dude has like no shoulders to speak of. And then you just plug the one into the other, and head reveal, which is basically just a blank slate and a blue visor. So there is Wingfinger. It's amazing. They managed to make a Transformer version of a stick figure. That's what this is. It's a stick figure turned into a Transformer. And the head just kind of plugs onto the back there, gives him a little bit more heft, and he can hold his little wingtips. There you go. And he's pretty darn posable. This one joint here is a little loose for me. But I mean, other than that, you know, he's got pretty much all the articulation that you could possibly want. So, if you're into the fossilizers, he's pretty cool. If you just want like a weird spindly guy, then he's pretty cool too. But if you need to pass on a figure, this is one to pass on. Just because he's just so odd, but I do kind of like the odd ones. So I definitely like the fossilizers. Not so much because of the whole fossilizing thing. And the instructions do show how you can put them into a couple of different weapon configurations or armor or whatever. And but I didn't really look at that. I just got them a couple hours ago today and didn't really do a whole lot with them. But I never did anything with Ractonite or Paleotrex either. Just because that's not really what I got them for. I just thought they looked pretty cool, being like bone skeletons. And in a way, little Vertebreak here is kind of related to them. It's kind of a fossilizer too, except it doesn't have the fossilizer gimmick. She doesn't come apart where you can go and equip her to other bots as armor or anything like that. She's just like a straight up skeleton transformer or whatever. But of the three fossilizers, I'd have to say I probably like Ractonite best. That's the Styracosaurus. I think this was a Styracosaurus. And I don't know. I just liked him best. I think one of the things skewing my opinion is my version, at least my version of Paleotrex. I don't know if it's widespread. The legs are kind of loose, so he doesn't like to stand up when he's in skeleton mode. But I don't know. So something cool about the big old Styracosaurus head as kind of like a shoulder pauldron. I thought that was pretty cool. So, just like seeing them as abominations. Yeah, they really are. Am I getting the Generation Selects the fire one? I thought about it, but no. It looks pretty cool, the colors and all that stuff, but no. Fitz, I don't know what comment that you had there. Was that the one about swoop, not strafe? You got to remember, when you go watch some of these old videos, you got to remember the context of when I made the videos. Things have changed. Like when Swoop first came out, he was called Strafe, and when Sludge was called Slog, and that was because of like trademark reasons or whatever. And for whatever reason it was, but that's what they had to be in the game. And the whole, his name's Swoop, not Strafe, and Sludge, not Slog. We went through all that back then. You know, so you know, it's kind of funny sometimes when we get comments on videos that are very old, saying, hey, you missed this, or you're wrong, or this or that, or the other thing. It's like, That's what it was at the time. Like Hot Rod. When he first came out, Hot Rod was going by Rodimus. Not Rodimus Prime, just Rodimus. Because that's what they called him in the IDW comics, and probably because they could not use the Hot Rod name. It's changed since then. They can use the Hot Rod name now. So, I think what it is, a lot of people don't look at the dates of the video. And to be fair, YouTube doesn't prominently display the dates of the video that you're looking at. When I do want to go look and see, oh, what date was this recorded? I've got to click 2 or 3 things to get, at least on the mobile app. On the desktop, on the computer, you can see it pretty easily. But if you're watching on your phone or something, you got to tap 2 or 3 different places to finally get to, well, what date was this? So I can understand not realizing that it was an older video or whatever, but you know, yeah. So sometimes you gotta think about the context of when the video was made. So, see, Lancelot Robinson's asking which bot in con do I think is coming next? We haven't heard yet, and I don't know. I'd be very surprised if we got Ironhide and C.O.M.B.A.T to finish off the Magna Boss group. Honestly, I was blown away when we got Prowl and Silverbolt, Prowl and Ramhorn, then Silverbolt and Cicada-Con back-to-back bots. I was blown away that happened. I was expecting, the second one to come months later, and then the third one months after that. So the fact of getting the 2 of them back to back, it's crazy. Will we get them 3 in a row? Who knows? Maybe. I doubt it. But like I said, it's all Beast Wars all the time right now. So I wouldn't count anything out. Grand Galvatron, we got 5 G-Metal wall busters. Oh my goodness. Let's go look and see. I've got 3. So yeah, I've got Drillhorn all set with his G-Metal wall buster. I don't have a 4-star or 5-star even Straxus, so I don't have that for him. I did get lucky. Well, let's see, what do I have for Warriors? So there's a Death Pulse and Trithelium Plating, which I do like. I just haven't put it on anybody yet. I did get lucky with G-Metal Volatile Mixture, though. Put that right on Skull Smasher, and he is really good. And for air, no G-Metals there, but do have a handful of gold enhanced ordnance, so that's cool. Medics, yeah, got some good ray boosters there. I think I've also got a G1 core for them. Huh. I just noticed I don't have a headquarter section here. Is that true? Am I missing it? I mean, that would make sense that I can't, because I can't put a headquarter. I'm just surprised that I don't have them. Bot specific there. I got a gold Battle-Hardened Megatron. I've got a gold Lugnut Mace. So those are pretty cool. From the G1, yeah, I got that G-Metal Reflector back during that, what was it, a couple weeks ago, right around the anniversary, when pulled like 8 4-stars and got a duplicate reflector from his crystals, which gave that G-Metal like all in one shot. It was insane. And I've had that gold Shockwave, I think, for a little while too, so those ray boosters are kind of going unused because I've got the G1s of those 2 guys already. And Tantrum is not equipped because I only have 3-star Tantrum, and I'm not putting G-Metal on a 3-star. That's just going to sit there for a while until I get 4 or 5-star Tantrum. So that's the status of my Decepticon power cores there. Thoughts on the Kingdom trailer? I just saw it briefly, and honestly, I didn't see really enough to form an opinion yet. It's good to see that it's coming soon. I think we did see like Ultra Magnus back as like Nemesis Ultra Magnus or something. Or we're going to call him Nemesis Magnus. So normally it's Optimus Prime that comes back, who's all from undead and possessed or whatever. So maybe it's Magnus this time. Why does Drillhorn have Wallbuster? Well, his ability is to attack walls, so I figured a little bit of extra wall busting couldn't hurt. Plus, who else am I going to put that on? And I don't want to waste any of the good core on Drillhorn. So, and you saw I have 3 of them, so. Well, Tigertron and Transformers Earthward said Blurimus Prime, I agree. Let's see. If they made a G1 Wrecker combiner, which 5 or 6 bots do you think would make a good Wrecker combiner? Well, the hard thing is, if you're talking, at least in the cartoon continuity, we never saw Wreckers. The Wreckers came from the comics, and in fact, I think it was the UK comics. Interesting thing, there is. The Transformers Collectors Club a few years ago did put out a Wreckers combiner. And I'm not talking about the War for Cybertron one where they recolored the Combaticons into, I think they called it Ruination. Transformers Collectors Club did a whole different one. They had, and it was unique because they weren't all Autobots. They were like a bunch of misfits. But they were led by Impactor. And the torso was Toxitron. And the limbs were Impactor, Counterpunch, just Counterpunch. He had basically killed off the punch part of the personality. Fractal, who was a bot from like a Beast planet, so some from Beast Wars or whatever. And who was the other one? Blue Streak, maybe? I think Blue Streak. Yeah, Wreckage. I thought that was pretty cool, and they actually had a little story for each of those bots, and I'm pretty sure it's still up on that website. And Transformers, or I think it's just fully spelled out, TransformersCollectorsClub.com, and the stories are actually really good. Let's see. Fitz has a good point. We technically have Tigatron and Air Razor already because that's what Tigerhawk is. The Tigatron and Air Razor kind of fused together and became Tigerhawk. So, but we do have like multiple Optimus Primes and Megatrons and Starscreams and Skywarps and Jetfires and so just because we've got Tigerhawk in there doesn't mean we won't get Tigatron or Air Razor, especially since they get new toys. Female Megatron, I agree with Gary and Galvatron, probably Megatronia. Takara Tomy over in Japan recolored the Victorion set as Meg Empress, which Grant Galvatron said, and the main one, which used to be Pyra Magna, was given basically Megatron colors. Wasn't supposed to be a female Megatron, just a female fan of Megatron went by Megatronia. Or maybe I got the two. I think that's what it was. Or maybe I got them wrong. The core was Mega Empress. It was Megatronia. I think I got it right. I think Megatronia was the Pyramagna version. Commander Hackman says Megatron was previously called Megatronus. Depends which story you go by. In some stories, Megatronus was the kind of like the god, and he named himself after the god. In fact, I think he did go by Megatronus, but then dropped the us. Yeah, and other ones he just went straight to Megatron. Meg Empress was the Pyramagna, and Megatronia was the Combiner. Thank you. I had a feeling Grand Galvatron was going to know that one. And PB Chu put something in the in Discord to share, talking about the movie coming for another possible version of Scourge, if not the spaceboat guy or that. Basically kind of a Nemesis Prime truck kind of guy. There's also this basically Predaking guy from Transformers Cybertron. So this is another version of Scourge. I'm still thinking it's the RID one, since they were basically describing him as a truck, and that guy is the truck. But yeah, he's definitely a contender, and you could. I mean, they certainly could pull parts of the personality from this guy, but man, I tell you, if I didn't see that name on there, I would think this was Predaking from Transformers Prime Beast Hunters. Which, honestly, this is probably what that character was based on. That they didn't want to call him Scourge, so they called him Predaking, because the other characters, the beasts they were chasing were Predacons. And he was the Predaking. See what they did there? Thank you for sharing. And Grand Galvatron is also a master embroiderer. And we've got a version of the next character that she's doing. It's still a work in progress, but I think it's looking real good. Not sure why you put a donut behind him, though. I'm not sure if I should be offended by that. Are you trying to subtly say something? I mean, a donut on Prowl because he's a police officer, and yeah, I'm just kidding. It looks pretty cool. I like the way that you did the way that you did the sprinkles too. I think you got a better picture of it over here, yeah. So you can get a little bit better picture before the other stuff filled in. Got like the beads on there to do the sprinkles. I really love how you did that. It almost kind of looks like that little bot donut that you've got behind there. I forget what the name was. I forgot a lot about what the bots were. Although I'm pretty sure Star Saber back there is still holding the... Yeah, he's still holding the lollipop. Based on the one line from Hoist Goes Hollywood? It's been a while since I saw that. Did the director or something tell him to go get donuts or something? And then he just didn't know what donuts were? Because, you know, he's Cybertronian and... Oh, did I get that wrong? Super VH did the Scourge? My bad. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not like your name was right there on the. It's not like your name was right there on the post. And I don't know what that seal is doing. There. So thank you, Super VH. I'm sorry for not giving you proper credit before. Who's your favorite Prime? Optimus. Yeah, how can Optimus Prime not be your favorite? You might think I might say Rodimus Prime, because my favorite character is Hot Rod. But see, that's the thing. My favorite character is Hot Rod. And just because he came Prime, I liked him as Hot Rod. I mean, I liked him as Rodimus Prime too, but you know, I'm just like, I'm with everybody else. I like the Optimus Prime better as a Prime or whatever. But Hoistimus Prime, of course. Thank you. Yes, indeed. That's just Prime. Yeah, if they don't include that line at some point in Kingdom or the new movie, then they have failed. Yeah, I mean, it could be the best movie ever, but if Optimus Primal doesn't say the line, that's just Prime, then I will consider it a failure of a movie. I'm not that hardcore, I'm just kidding. I have to say though, you have if you're gonna do something like that, it's got to make sense. Honestly, going back to the very first Bayformers film, I love the way they got the whole "more than meets the eye" line in there, because I don't know if it was intentional or not, but when I heard it, I'm like, it makes sense the way they're delivering it, because it's got to be awkward, because more than meets the eye is not something that you'd really find in most normal conversations, but it's kind of like the main thing about Transformers. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Yeah, you got to say that, but how does it really fit in a conversation? So I kind of like the way that they had Sam deliver it awkwardly. He's like, "There's more than meets the eye with you." He said it awkwardly because it was an awkward insertion of that line. So I liked the way that they had him say it, you know, being all awkward. So, but they could check off, yes, we included more than meets the eye in the script and in the movie. So, what if G1 Shockwave becomes a Prime? Imagine a gun with a trailer. We also have to have Megatrons. Yes. I guarantee you, everybody has their fingers crossed that David K is going to be on board for Beastie Megs. I mean, they've got Peter Cullen coming back for Optimus Primal, but and you know, Gary Chalk who did the Optimus Primal. That's well, Peter Cullen for Optimus Prime. I might have said Primal, but Gary Chalk, who did Optimus Primal, I think is who it was, and David K for Megatron. The Optimus Primal voice honestly wasn't super memorable. I mean, it just kind of seemed kind of like a normal voice or whatever. But Megatron, oh, you just can't beat that Megatron though. I think they asked that at the press conference, and the answer was, well, we can't comment that now, and they kind of just did that smile, wink, not wink, wink kind of deal. So probably they want to do it, but he hasn't officially signed on for it. It's probably the deal. So pretty sure it's not going to be in Kingdom because, you know, I think we've all heard of the voice actor issues with that. They're not using union people. That's why Peter Cullen and Frank Welker aren't doing the voices. And if they're not doing it, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be seeing David Kaye or anybody else doing the voices of the Beast Wars characters. So. Rattrap, we're gonna die. I can't remember if they said Rattrap was going to be in the movie or not. I would think we'd see him in Kingdom at least, but not every toy that we got out in Siege or Earthrise did we actually see in the show, I don't think. So just because we got a Rattrap and the Vertebreak toys and stuff like that, I don't know if we're necessarily going to see them in the... we don't necessarily see them in Kingdom. I think it would be great if we do. But... Yeah, Nightbird's going to be in the film, so that would be pretty cool. Different origin story, I think, than in G1. Thank you for the subscription, Tommy, I think? Blurmus is saying Rattrap is not going to be in the movie, but in Kingdom. So that would be pretty cool. Grant Galvatron says, interested to see Nightbird's role in the movie, but pretty sure she's not going to be hanging around Cobra Rattlers. That's referring to the story that Grant Galvatron's writing. Which is a really good story, too. Even though I'm not keeping up with it. I just always seem to find other things to do. So, imagine a toilet transformer. I have one, actually. There was a third-party company out a year or two ago, and they called it like Dirty Man, and it was a dude who he transforms into a toilet, and he's and when he the robot mode is very basically like a samurai, but he's like a very squat, short, round kind of a samurai. He doesn't transform very far from a toilet, but it's actually pretty cool. Fitz19 just subscribed. I'm betting you unsubscribed and resubscribed just so you can get your name on screen. But I can't stop you. PB Chu says, still have concerns about Rise of the Beasts being a direct sequel to Bumblebee. Yeah, it's so early on. I'm just not going to. I try not to make any judgments. Thank you for the string of subscriptions, folks. Yeah, I try not to make any judgments on movies. Oh, this is going to be good. Oh, this is going to be terrible, or anything based on an announcement. Hey, we're making this movie. First of all, because things are going to change greatly from that. Even like the first trailer is not even a guarantee of anything, because trailers. They cut them. It's not necessarily indicative of a movie, because they're going to chop things up. They'll show things that come later in the movie early and all that. I always go back to the trailer for Avengers. What was it? Infinity War. And it's been long enough. You know, the whole spoiler lift has been banned. Whole spoiler ban has been lifted. So I mean, if you haven't seen Infinity War by now, it's like, you know, then you're clearly not interested. The trailer for that showed Captain America, Black Panther, a bunch of people rushing into battle. First of all, kind of in the woods, and Hulk is rushing in with them. You know, full big green hulked out Bruce Banner is rushing into battle in the trailer. But what did we get in the movie itself? Well, Hulk got his butt whipped by Thanos early on in the movie and decided not to come out. So Bruce Banner was running around in the Hulkbuster armor, and they were fighting in a field, not in a forest. So they actually made an entire scene, CGI'd and everything, just for the trailer to throw you off. So, which I think is genius. And so that's why I generally try not to make judgments until I actually watch the film or the TV show if it's a TV show. You know? So I try not to make any judgments from trailers, much less on announcements of movies before they even started filming. So. Tommy Cruise says that anytime, ever since they made the announcement, the community went nuts. Oh, that's how it always is in any fandom. Anytime there's an announcement of a new movie or a new TV show, all the YouTubers who cover things like that, they're constantly putting out theory videos or whatever. It's like, oh, let me start writing a script and let me start gathering all my clips, and I'm going to go put out a video real quick, try to be the first guy out. And I will never be able to be the first one out, nor do I ever want to try. No, first of all, I work a real job, Monday through Friday. A lot of these things drop in the middle of the day on stuff, and it's impossible for me to even attempt to be the first guy to get something out. The reason I do this at 8 p.m. So late is because it takes me that long from the time I get off work to come home to prepare and actually eat and relax for a little bit and then come on. This is about as early as I can do it. So I mean, I would love to to go a little bit earlier so our friends across the pond. I know it's really late for people over in the UK and Europe and stuff like that, but you run into that tricky time where, to be early enough for them, it's too early for the folks on the West Coast over like in the Pacific time zone, because even though I'm starting at 8 p.m. here, it's like 5 p.m. over in, say, California or something. So it's almost too early for those folks. So, and it's all everybody's around the world. Even PB2 saying it's 8 a.m. So you're a whole day off. It's 12 hours. So it's you really can't hit the time zone for everybody. So if you ever start doing YouTube and you ever want to do a live stream or whatever, you got to pick a time that's best for you, because you're never going to pick a time zone where you're not going to be excluding some people. And it's not because you want to. That's just how it is. And the world is 24 hours. It's a big world. You can't all be on at the same time at the same reasonable time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got time checks going on here. What's going on, grind time? What time is it by me? It's well, we've been going for. We started at 8 o'clock and we've been going for a little more than an hour. What's 8 plus 1? Trying to think. I don't really have a whole lot more. That's it, Fitz. You got it. What are my thoughts on Bombshell? I like Bombshell. You mean in the game? Yeah. Definitely like Bombshell. And Perceptor, their hack ability. I have Perceptor on my raid team. If I had a stronger Bombshell, he'd be on my Decepticon raid team, but he's not really there right now. Especially if you're going into a raid base with those big Thunder Towers. You get them close and you hack those big Thunder Towers, that's going to do half the work for you. What bot or con would you like to see in Earth Wars besides the ones already on there? You know, I'm getting a lot of questions here, and I will answer that, but I forgot to mention earlier, and anybody watching the replay is probably not going to get to this, but I'm going to be a guest on Sunstreaker Waza's stream on Sunday. So if you guys, and apparently he's got people submitting questions over there. And I already kind of looked through questions people are asking, and first of all, it's like, I recognize some of them, and people asking, and it's like, come over to my stream and ask him. But hey, it gives us something extra to talk about. It's all good. But yeah, it's going to be Sunday at, let's see, 4 p.m. his time. No, 8 p.m. his time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern. So 4 hours earlier than when I usually start. So yeah. So if you want to go see me on Sunstreaker Waza on stream on Sunday, head on over there and subscribe over there. And we'll be chatting about the game and various other things. So, yeah, the question is, what bots would I want to see on Earth Wars? That triggered my memory because I saw that somebody was asking that. Honestly, I really don't have this big holy grail list. Like, oh man, I really want to see this bot in there. I mean, Hoist was it. And once we got Hoist, I'm happy. You know? I mean, just based on the story that we got going on, obviously we're going to see C.O.M.B.A.T and Ironhide from Beast Wars coming in there. I think it would be cool to see Scorponok, the little Beast Wars Scorponok we just showed off. And Air Razor and say Pterodactyl would be a good combo. Spinister and Whirl, yes, I agree that those would be fun. Is Alita a good raid bot? Eh, not really. I don't use her. You guys want to see the raid squad since I brought it up? All right. Well, on the Decepticon side. Where's my shuttle? That's my raid squad right now. Yeah, honestly, I use a very similar squad on my Autobot account. Megatron and Scrapper, they're just good, strong tanks going in there. Cybertron Starscream, that was a real lucky pull. He does great in raids. He does crazy amount of damage, plus he also stuns the defense for a little while. Scrapnel is there because he's got a big wide EMP pulse area, even though I don't use it all the time. Cutthroat is a must. If I had a 4-star, he would be on there, but the 3-star is going to do just fine. Dirge is also great. That's the best I've got right now. I definitely need to level him up a little bit more because he also has some hack abilities. And I've got Scourge on there. And just because he's kind of strong and he can do quite a bit of damage, I might swap him out though. I'll have to do a little bit of thinking on that. But Cutthroat or Trax, absolutely must. You gotta have them on there. So. And if we go over to the Autobot account. I'm not changing the audio, so So there's my raid squad for the for my Autobots. I've got Star Saber on there, and I really don't use his ability much, but he's very, very strong. Sentius Magnus is also very strong. I do actually use his ability quite a bit. He's pretty good at taking out like the spider mines or the Sharkticon mines. If he's close enough, I can use his ability there, and he'll take the damage, and generally lasts quite a while. Because of the healing from Amalgamus Prime there. I've got First Aid on there, does a fair amount of healing. Bumblebee is Shrapnel. You know, you can kind of see those next three, Bumblebee, Trax, and Blades, are the same as the Scrapnel, Cutthroat, and Dirge. And then, like I said, there's that little Preceptor there. So... yeah, so that's who I take in there right now. Yep. Hoist is overpowered. No, far from it. Would Tigerhawk be a good raid bot? He does a fair amount of damage. You know, you kind of got to look at what the defenses are there, because the problem with Scourge and Tigerhawk or Swoop or Waspinator is there are defenses that can target them in the air. So, and they're in the air for a while, so you know it's not like they're up in the air and they're safe. So you would have to think about that. But I mean, if it's like your strongest bot, then yeah, take them in and see what they can do. There's definitely no hard and fast rule. Like for example, I love Blades and Preceptor, aka Dirge and Bombshell for raids because of the hack ability, because take advantage of the Thunder Towers. But not all raid bases have Thunder Towers, in which case their abilities aren't quite as strong. They can't help cause as much damage without those Thunder Towers there. So maybe swap them out for somebody else who can do some other different thing. Maybe. I generally don't, but maybe I should think about it. Grimlock for raid? No. Grimlock's health is way too low. Same with Drift. Those guys, I think, would die almost like that. Even Optimus Primal, he likes to jump out there, and he's one of the first to die in a normal battle for me. So I highly doubt he'd last anything in raids. Yeah. Looking back a little bit, Calvin just got four-star Percy. Need to level him. Oh yeah, definitely want to get him leveled. You get him leveled and get him on a team, because you know, because even on a normal base, you know, hacking the shock towers can be pretty good. Plus, he also has that passive ability, which is kind of like Liege Maximo. So if Perceptor's on your squad and he pops an outpost bot, he'll hack that outpost bot. So Perceptor, Bombshell, good bots. Impactor, yeah, it's probably a good one. He helps draw the defenses. The problem is the defenses in the raids are really strong, so that one ability might be all you get out of them. If it says look at the collection photos. Yeah, your picture's not loading, bud. Maybe it's just me. Silverbolt saying healers, stunners, tracks, hackers, and tanks. Yeah, basically, yeah. That's kind of what my that's kind of how I built the teams. You know, I've got the tanks on there. I got the stunners, and I've got the hacks, and I got the healer. Oh, and also Bumblebee, and I did the same thing on the Decepticon side with Scrapnel, since I got the same Prime Core, Solus Prime. So by taking them into the raids, I also bring along an extra little turret to do a little bit of extra damage with from Solus Prime. That's just kind of a bonus. That wasn't really a plan. So, Finale Kid, what's the take on Rampage? He's a decent bot. He's a tank. He does the fire. He's on a Decepticon account, basically the same bot as Bone Crusher. He is the equivalent of either Slug or Pyromagna. I think I'd say he's probably opposite Pyromagna, maybe. They're all basically the fire rush, so they're basically the same. Or did they change? I can't remember. I know they did an update to the Warriors. I can't remember if they split them to be something different. I think Stormclash is really good. Reflector's really good. Transmetal Black Arachnid or Cheetor. Well, hey, you know, we saw today, you know, they're starting to come with the Transmetal cores for Optimus Primal and Megatron. I think it won't be too much longer before we'll see Transmetal cores for the other Beast Wars bots. It's the same thing when we first got like the G1 or the I think it was the more the bot specific. First ones they showed off were Optimus and Megatron. So they're just doing the same thing here with the Beast Wars bots. It's going to be a matter of time. We'll see Transmetals for Rhinox and Dinobot and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, things come in waves. They can't do them all at the same time. So. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna hop on out of here. I got to get up a little early tomorrow, or much earlier than usual. We did about the same amount of time we usually do anyway. So, good chat. I do appreciate everybody coming on by and hanging out. And yeah, I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends. I'll see you next time.